with incisive statements. Doesn't matter whose ox is God. But I think that on the scale of balance, it is the APC as a political party that needs to lower the temperature a little bit and understand that management of power and responsibility comes at very great cost. And some of this cost, Timberlake, let me finish. Yeah. Some of this cost must be that you cannot really determine to injure, maim, and destroy opposition or people that are in contest with you if you desire to lead them. If you get to that level of sophistication in your mind, knowing fully well that after all, you are trying to lead Nigeria, there's no point in trying to, and you hear the president say often, good luck, Ebele, we always say, the blood of any Nigeria is too precious to be paid.
Let me put this question to both of you.
I've never heard them say the same.
Let me put the question to both of you, and briefly, because we have to move to the next one.
Yes.
Let me start with Mr. Shomi. The kinds of comment that he referred to was credited to the First Lady. In your party, first of all, well, yes, you've spoken that none should get away with such, if anyone is inciting anybody. Does your party, do you think your party has in any way, maybe internally, spoken about those kind of messages, especially if people feel strongly that, wait a minute, we think this should not have been said?
You should observe, if you count, you can do the count, you'll find out that you hardly get people from PDP make statements like that. You hardly find evidence in public space. But go and look at those who are either talking or campaigning or speaking on behalf of people, including their candidates, their president. They will always speak to suggest that if it doesn't go their way, whether they lose and they're likely to lose fair and square, the whole place is going to go aflame. And let me tell you how it is. When they begin to bring their violence and their intimidating statements and their actions to the people on the PDP, the problem is that our people will keep backing away until such a time when they start to feel that, hey, this is getting too much. We can't be the only one backing away. Then some of our people too may, of course, inappropriately make statements to let them know that whatever you're giving, we can dish.
Has your party spoken about maybe the kinds of messages they say credited to your party flag bearer about violence? Do you internally speak about those?
If there's anybody or there's any party that's hypocritical about the issue on ground, I think it is PDP. It is very clear. We have, all of us are familiar with the media, and we know the kind of 8 adverts that have been publicized from time to time on television, on televisions, in newspapers. Well, I just cited the case of the ambitious Jonathan when they referred to General Muhammad Buhari, the presidential candidate of APC, as somebody that is brain dead. You hear that? We hear a number of times that the governor of Ekiti State, he cannot here mention a single time, or he refer to a particular person who has at any point in time made any malicious statement about either President Jonathan or anybody in the PDP. That's very incorrect. And all along, the TV adverts being sponsored on AIT regularly, contrary to the peace accord, peace agreement signed in Abuja. What does he have to say about that?
Right.
So if anybody is causing violence, I think it is the PDP.
We'll rephrase the question and put it back to both of you, because I'm not sure you responded to it the way viewers want. But we spoke to our correspondent, Bukola Ariowo from Oyo State earlier, and here's a report she filed in.
We went around today still monitoring PVC distribution across some parts of the state. We were at about the northwest and southwest local governments, and we spoke to some INEC officials present at the places where we visited, and they told us that people still coming to collect their PVCs, and they've not been having many serious issues. But there was a place where the official told us that some people have come and they've been having problems with their fingerprints for the collection of their permanent voter cards. And then we also have some other places where they say people come in the morning, they get their cards and they go away, and by 12 o'clock the place is virtually deserted. Coming from the background of this, the INEC boss in Oyo State, that's the resident electoral commissioner, Ambassador Rufus Akejo, has been making passionate appeals every day, particularly right now that they are doing the market outreach to sensitize people who cannot read or write, artisans, market women, traders, to make sure that they have their PVCs at all costs, and to actually make sure they have better access to those PVCs, because they take some of them to them in these marketplaces so that they can collect.
Well, thank you, Bukola. And getting back to this, let's maybe 1 minute each on this one. In terms of both parties, two leading parties, looking inwards and say, proper soul searching and not papering over cracks, do we or are we doing enough to see that we check our members, not pointing fingers at the other party, our members, to ensuring that, look, just ensure that you don't go out there and stoke the fire. Mr. Shonin.
Now, let me say for our state, Ogun State, and our party, the PDP, and indeed, or maybe all over Nigeria, specifically, we have said to ourselves in Ogun State that, look, no matter the provocation, we're going to run a clean campaign. It's going to be based on issues. We're going to avoid any form of brigandage or even retaliation. But the problem is this. With every effort at backing away, they seem to be pushing us closer and closer and closer to the war. And let me tell you, Chamberlain, violence is ugly. It's easy when one person is being violent and the other person is running away. That's still, it's not nice, but that's a bit pretty. Because that way you can say, oh, we're running. But it becomes extremely ugly when both sides now dig their feet in and hit each other. That can be very, very... And we have told ourselves that we will not allow the APC in Ogun especially to provoke us. We will not allow Senator Bukola Amosun, a man who has a penchant for violence, to provoke us. But we'll only ask
Even though
that
they'll
the security
dispute
should
that.
please be kind enough to respond quickly to petitions and accusations.
Internally, what is your party doing to ensure that your members, like I said, not pointing accusing fingers at the other party, within yourself, to ensure that your members are not found culpable?
Well, our motto, the motto of our party is justice, peace, and progress. APC stands for peace, and from time to time, we address our members regarding that, both at the state and national level. But yet there's a level, and there's a limit to how one can accept provocation. All, you will agree with me, just like I've said earlier on, all the inciting adverts, both on television and
talking about within your party.
Exactly.
What you're doing to ensure that your members stay on course.
Oh, of course, we do that. Just like of course we do that. But I said there's a limit to there must be a limit to that as well. There must be a limit because the PDP as a party, they are not living up to the peace accord side. If they live up to that, they can be sure that everything will be peaceful.
Does that mean that you don't tell your members to maintain peace even in the face of provocation?
That's what I said. I said we do that. We stand by that because that's what even our motto preaches. That we stand for peace from time to time. The motto of our party is justice, peace, and progress. So we are very peaceful and peace-loving people.
There's this school of thought out there that politicians, basically, it's first of all for their pockets. So whatever they come and tell us, maybe in public square, in public space, it's just to massage the ego of the electorate, such that when they get it, because many ask, if truly all this energy that they dissipate during campaigns for elections, if it was really to serve the people, I mean, we wouldn't have seen the kind of infrastructural state that we are in now. Let me start with you again, Mr. Chairman.
Well, you see, it's a difficult one-liner just answer. There are politicians who typifies kleptomaniac tendencies, accusative megalomaniac tendencies, wanting to grab and own everything, perpetuating themselves in power and extending a space as if it was a fiefdom. I don't want to mention their names, but Nigerians know them. The People's Democratic Party as a political party, we have been very consistent. We have not achieved all we could have done with the rule of law and with especially fighting corruption and all that. But what is certain is this: we have consistently maintained the same set of principles, which is simple. Our party is for the Nigerian people with an intention to grow a Nigerian economic model that can be something that Nigeria can take to the world as its transformation agenda, and we have started that. In the case of the APC, take a look at their members. The only thing good with the present set of APC is probably Buhari himself because of his track record in the past. Look at everybody behind Buhari down. and tell me which of them typify